First of all, I'd like to tell you guys I traveled from Kisumu to come here to pitch. I want you guys to know that being here for me, it's more impactful. I'm Odero, Otieno Bungu, and I'm the founder of Aquasee Networks Limited. Quick one, I know you guys have not been into fish farming, but I know that some of you love fish, and that those who are vegetarians here, maybe one or two, who cannot have meat. And I don't know if you know how your fish gets to your table, but yes. Now, I want to walk you into a fish farmer's life for just 3 minutes. Now, you're a fish farmer, you wake up early in the morning, you're going to your cage, take your boat, deep in the lake, then kaboom, you find all the fish that you've worked hard for the past 3, 4, 5 months, or probably 6 months when you're just about to harvest, all dead. Now, what happened? You can't explain, but in reality, there's something that happened. Now, Aquasee is a company that is born out of this challenge. When I was in campus, I've gone through university, I've dropped out, went back, spent 10 years literally to acquire my degree. Quite a story. But my story gets to the problem that every fish farmer experiences. In Africa, we have 1.2 billion annual losses. This is a Food Agriculture Organization report. And out of this, 83% of all these are small-scale farmers. And all these farmers are operating blindly because they don't understand that there are water qualities that affect the fish growing in their farm. And 40% of these farm inputs are wasted due to poor feeding, whereby you have feeders getting to, they're feeding the fish and then there's excesses. These excesses end up being poisonous to the fish cage. Now, this is the big problem that is facing Africa. Now, Aquasee has brought up a solution called the Aquanode Sentinel platform. It's already patented. We have a provisional patent for it, and this is what we do. We have created a system that generates sensors. We are implementing lock-up sensors like pH, temperature, and dissolved oxygen sensors and turbidity sensors into the lake directly. And these sensors generate us real-time data, which now we put in a platform that is able to generate this data to real-time dashboard for the farmer. Now, our solution also is, because the world right now, we've been talking about AI also in this platform, we incorporating AI into this Aquanode so that you can be able to have analytics of predictive data, because the farmer, what you are solving is the farmer not having the fish to die. So we are doing predictive analysis for the farmer, whereby if we have pH sensors reading, we have the temperature and they fluctuate. Just for example, if the temperature of the water is high, that indicates that there's dissolved oxygen. Now, for the fish farmer, that information should trigger him to know that anytime within hours, fish can die because they lack oxygen. Now, that's where our platform comes in. So we are able to give you early analytics so fish farmers can act. Now, as I said, this is an African problem. If you see in Africa alone, this is an 8.4 billion market that is by 2030 will be addressable. And then we have 2.5 million farmers all over Africa. These are small scale farmers who we can able, in East Africa, we can able to address them immediately with our system. And globally, it's 220 billion to be addressed. Now, our go-to market, because currently we are in Kenya, Lake Victoria, where I come from, is the benchmark where we're going to do a test pilot and we're going to get this data amount. Now, we start from Lake Victoria, and Lake Victoria, we're talking about 3 counties, Kisumu, Siaya, Bondo, Homa Bay, Kindu Bay, Suba, Migori. These are heavily doing commercial fish cage farming right now. And this is our expansion strategy. We want to start with Kenya. From Kenya, we go to Uganda, where we are able to replicate our technology, and hopefully go to West Africa, because in West Africa we have Lake Volta, in Nigeria, which is really producing one of the fastest Africa producers in aquaculture produce currently, followed by Kenya, Uganda, Lake Victoria, and then we have Egypt. Moving forward, we believe that with our technology, we'll be able to unlock other African countries that are potential, because we have lakes that are not doing aquaculture currently. Now, because the world is moving from the old method of farming to aquaculture system. Now, our business model, very simple. We are by installing the hardware, the cost around 700 to 2,400 nodes per dollar. That is for commercial, and a small-scale farmer will estimately $700. That is the CAC for a customer. Now, part of our service we sell to the farmer because we give them this data analytics monthly. They can subscribe to our services. Again, moving forward, that is after 3 months of traction and also having a good data mode to be able to partner now with government and insurance companies. We'll be selling them data, and also they'll be able to get carbon credits, as Sas talked about earlier. That's part of our revenue bases. Yeah. Now, since my time is short, what have we done so far? Now, this was my university project. I went and deployed it in a hatchery by last year to prove that this system can really run. So after that, now we had a product now. Due to talking to people like this group, I got now the advice to register a company, and that's what we did this year. We're already fully registered. We have compliances ready for us to be investor ready to start the business. Now, I believe by the first quarter, we've created the app already, and if we get onboarding, we'll have it running. And by the second quarter, we plan to partner with the government because we want to do a radical scale for the project. What our aim is to have this as the standard monitoring system for aquaculture in the entire Africa. Probably we'll outdo the industrial players like Aquasee, Aquasee, because they have industrial systems of monitoring. Now, this is where Aquasee wins. Our priority, this is a propriety is summarizing here. We are doing off-grid, whereby it's solar powered, it's self-reliant, it's solar powered. Again, this this technology of ours is able to last 72 hours without sunshine. I don't know if you understand. We have created a system where it saves battery, so if in case there's no sun, you are able to still get live stream data and an estimate of 15 minutes interval, so that we are able to have real-time data despite the climatic conditions. Again, our AI model that is only built for African waters, because most aquaculture systems import the industrial system, and this industrial system, they are meant for their waters, not ours. So if we are able to have this, we'll build our own models that give us predictive analysis for our own waters. Policy alignment, because what we've created in the entire aquaculture, the government has never had a framework for them to have monitoring for the aquaculture, because the, monitoring is a requirement for governments in terms of reporting and data. So what we've created aligns perfectly with the government framework, and we've created the framework. It's called National Early Monitoring System. So this position Aquasee in the next 3 years to be able to be the government's to go to monitoring service for aquaculture in the country. I've traveled to many countries. I can speak different languages. That's just about me. And I have a connection with quite a number of people in the fishery domain. So this is me, Odero Anthony. I think I've said much about myself, but what I can tackle here is just what we are aligned in terms of SDG, because this is a global issue. And now if you go to, you find us in the SDG 2 and number 14 and number 8, that's where we are positioned perfectly well. Now, what we are raising is 500K as a pre-seed round and a safe for us to have a runway for 3 years. And this will enable us also to position ourselves very well in the next 3 years to do now further rounds. Now, out of this, 40% we'll do to iteration and R&D of our product. And 30% is to do market expansion across the counties that we are targeting. And also 20%, because we have to do it for team, because obviously this will need a huge team to bring it to life. 10% is now for us to work on our IP, get those compliances. I had the brother there complaining about government being on their case. This is about compliances. So we want to be compliant ready so we don't have these challenges with the government. This is Aquasee. Thank you so much for your time. I'm asking you to join me in this mission. I'll be honored for you to be part of Aquasee, whatever role you can play. It doesn't have to be funds only, but that idea to push Aquasee forward is really valuable. Thank you very much.
The node, you are marketing it like I'm doing only my fish business in the lake. Okay? But actually, I can tell you 90% of the fish farming businesses in Kenya are on fish ponds.
Yeah. Our system works on ponds and hatcheries because recently I realized we need also to look into hatcheries more than even the cages.
Because I'm saying this because where I'm saying you can add much value is not even on the lake. Because one, you can't control the water quality on a lake. Yeah. Reason being that lake is surrounded by me fellow farmers. We are using chemicals on a daily basis on our farm. But on my fish pond, I can control the quality of water, and that's where your sensor can be much suited to of me as a farmer. Yeah. So I would urge you try to see how you can now tune your business model more into fish ponds and guys who are doing indoor fish breedings than on the lake. Because on the lake is a big, large volume of water. One is being fed by 1,000 tributaries, all are bringing water polluted. So even if I have a sensor in the middle of Lake Victoria and it gives me an alert, there's nothing I can do. Because the only thing I can do is go carry that cage out of the water. And the moment you do that, your fish is done.
Well, just to walk you through how the business works, there's something called the BMU, Beach Management Unit. These are hands-on people who are just...
Yes, I know that team. But let me ask you, what will they do if Lake Victoria is polluted?
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing they can do. That happened in last year, you know very well. Yeah, exactly. Even if you want the sensors in the water, they will warn you, yes. But what can you do?
Yeah, so that's where we are coming in. What Aquasee you're building, we are trying to partner also with insurance companies against the node, whereby if the node for the farmer has triggered information for like a warning and the fish farmer ends up getting a loss, now this is where we partner now with insurance companies that are able to back up. This is now part of what we want to do moving forward, as to secure the farmer.
Now you are diverting your business.
Yeah, that is.
So first, don't go there because my friend will tell you when you go into insurance business against fish, you didn't go well.
I think we are talking also of a node which we can't see. Is there maybe a photo or something of?
Sure.
Yeah, we have not seen it.
What is the gap between the 700 to 2400? Yes, is it the size? Is it what the kind? What
size of the farm?
Okay, so mine is just a comment. So first of all, I'm not trying to discourage you. So there's a state corporation, the Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute. And do you know Sagana Fisheries?
No, I know Victoria.
So leave Victoria. So Sagana Fisheries is one of the biggest. They do fish farming in Kenya and also Lake Victoria. So there's something they built, like a cage that comes with everything, that is able to monitor the algae bloom in water, the Foraceous water hyacinth level, the oxygen level. It comes inbuilt with everything. So for you, I can be able to see you are charging at around 90,000 for something which they're doing at a cost of 10,000 shillings, which comes with everything that it has. And you find the thing, it does monitor. A good example is Lake Victoria, where they tested it in Homa Bay. Because you said you live in Kisumu, I'm sure, go to the lake, just inquire about it. So the cage, let's say, it's something that provides life data, not only to the farmers, but also to the government. There are some people always there monitoring the water levels and all that. They're always there being able to update the people doing the farming, even like at a cost of, maybe you have a fish farming over there cage, I know it's fine, and then there's an institute there which is able to help me monitor it at a cost of even 200 shillings. So if I give them 200 shillings today, by evening if something happens, I'm able to know that this water around this place has a problem. So if I find them moving at least the cage maybe 20 meters away from where it was. Not 20, maybe 2, 3, even 20 kilometers away from where it was with the fish. So try to do a bit of the research and find it. Even go to Sagana Fisheries. It's one of the biggest. It's there, whatever, it's there. But the cost, because for years it's almost 90,000. For them, they're doing it for 8,000. So ni wewe ndo utaumia kidogo.
I'm curious, as a farmer, the node sends me data where? Where does it send me the data? Is it on my phone? SMS, okay. Okay, so it's as basic as SMS. I don't necessarily have to have a smartphone. Is that accurate? Right, because I would assume a smallholder farmer sometimes may or may not have a working smartphone. So make sure to go in with that, because that gives you that like almost a universal acceptance in terms of user friendliness, right? If I have multiple nodes, therefore, you synchronize all that information into one stream. Sorry, I'm from the media industry, so I think in streams. Will I know that's node 5? How will I know where to check if I have a big, I'm just wondering. And you know what? You don't have to answer me now. I need you to think about that because it may come up when you expand, right? If I have this huge farm and I have 20 maybe, how do I know where for fast action? Because you said it's based on action, right? For fast action, accuracy, and all of that, and fine-tuning. What's that footprint of those nodes? Can that be fine-tuned so I don't have to have 20? How else can that work? Yeah. And then maybe another thing I'd encourage you to do as somebody who also does strategy for personal brands, dwell a little bit more on your story. I think you just whizzed. I know you didn't have time. Alex was on your case. Tell me more about why. Why do you care about fish? Start with, I'm a son of a fisherman. I don't know. I'm just feeding you idea. People, what Basharia said, people fund the story, and it's really true. Some people may be like, your business makes absolutely no sense, but I like you. I believe in you. I don't know how we're going to make this work. I'll fund you. Dwell a little bit more without dwelling too much, right? And then lastly, include an element of farmer capacity building. This is killer for globally. This is what people with lots of money, this is what helps them sleep at night. I have helped somebody learn something today. Feed into that narrative. So build in your percentage of your ask, let's see a percentage on farmer capacity building in whatever area you will find is a need. But well done.
So 2 things that came out for me. Number 1, in terms of the actual size of the need. So you've mentioned that this amount of fish died maybe in Lake Victoria last year, but what really quantified the death of those fish? So you mentioned about pH, you mentioned about oxygen. He's mentioned about hyacinth and a bunch of other things that I don't know. So in terms of your research, so this death was quantified by A, B, C, and D. There is research to prove it so that we can see what is the magnitude of your problem. What problem are you solving? So if you put that in terms of numbers, then that shows me, so this is where the dollars are. The magnitude of the problem. It's not a good thing, but this death is big like this because it was caused by A, B, C, and D, and my problem, my nodes are sensing for exactly A, B, C, and D. So if you get this problem is gone. So I think I wanted to see that much in terms of this is your research, what is the actual size of the problem. Then one of your biggest, in terms of where this, the investment is going, which is about 40% in terms of research and development, 40%, which is about 25 million in Kenyan shillings. Now, so I happen to know a little bit of that world in terms of sensors, microcontrollers, and all these boats. My question is, it's a big part of the investment. Show credibility in terms of who you're working with on getting it right. Because, okay, you'll mention R&D, but these whether it's Raspberry boards, whether it's microcontrollers, one, where you're sourcing them, do you have a relationship with the people that you're sourcing them or where you're designing or learning from, so that it's a big chunk of the investment and you want to show that you've taken time, you've taken care in getting the right partner to not only source, but get you the right microcontroller, the right boards, the right whatever. So I needed to also see that chunk of investment. Is it going to the right person? Will they deliver the right thing? So those two things which you can also look into.
We are using sensors, different kind of sensors, temperature, turbidity, and pH, and we have selected specific kind of sensors to be aligned with the farmer that are affordable. To be precise, we are looking for affordable sensors because my brother is talking about one packed sensor that gets all the data. That is ETO-ZO Atlas sensor. It's the only sensor in the world that can do that collection of all those parameters. It costs around $3,500 from the company. So we are trying to get this low-capex hardware, incorporate them into the microcontroller. And this microcontroller, again, on the question of identify the node, we are installing EDM Start, the satellite. We are working with GPS for each node so that we can identify, we get the right coordinates for the node. These are part of the Aquanode product. That's why I said this is a proprietary information. Now that's just summarized the Aquanode. Yeah, so these are conversations that I'll have moving forward if someone is interested. Yeah, exactly. So coming to you, brother, again, you've asked a very good question. Wow, umenifinya kidogo. But yes, what we have really built is a social impact driven. We are trying to save the farmer from experiencing the loss they have been having, and by that, if you're able to prove that we've increased 30% to 60% of the farmers' losses that they've been experiencing, we've added money in their pockets for school fee. We've added money in their pockets that they had lost it before. Now they're able to have it in their livelihood. So that's where we get the metrics from the farmer. So these are part of traction, because if you look at our charges, we don't charge the farmer upfront. Our revenue base is at harvest time. We charge 40 shillings per fish at harvest. So literally, we are working with you during the entire time of monitoring. So if you lose, we lose. If you gain as a farmer, you gain. So by the time you get your fish, 400 shillings is the price of the fish as you give us 40 shillings. Now, why did we come with this pricing? It's because we also did a market analysis. The insurance company that were offering 80 shillings to the fish farmers, but them, they were just doing radar systems and automated feeding. And that's where our competitor is, Aquarage. What we've created has not been created globally. Let me put it like that. This is an innovation. No one is doing encrypted data for Aqua data set globally, not even in Novasea. So that's why what we are working on here is the next nexus of monitoring for aquaculture farmers. Moving forward, I believe the cost will adapt with the fish farmer and market analysis. All that will be factors that will key in over time. Yeah, I hope I've answered partially. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's really clap for him. All right.